una constante en las noticias, pero la carrera controversial de Lindsay empezó con su primera enemistad en Hollywood con Hilary Duff. El 14 de diciembre del 2003, en la fiesta de recepción de la película de Duff, Más baratos por docena, su relación con el galán Aaron Carter derivó en abierta confrontación.
Lindsay had started dating Aaron, and then Hilary started dating him afterwards. Lindsay apparently thought that Hilary stole her guy. Instantly, feud broke out.
So Lindsay Lohan shows up at the Cheaper by the Dozen premiere. Hilary Duff tried to have her thrown out of the party.
People at the party said that Hilary and her mom went up to the studio bosses and said, "We're not happy, we want her out, get Lindsay out."
Reportedly, one of Duff's huge bodyguards tried to physically remove Lindsay from the party.
The real shocking thing is that these two very talented hot girls are fighting over this Aaron Carter.
La batalla siguió subiendo de tono a pesar de los esfuerzos de Lohan por hacer las paces.
I love you, Hilary Duff.
Wow!
There were rumors that Lindsay actually called up Hilary to make a truce, but her sister Haley was so angry and hung up the phone.
This is that first feud that kind of kicked off the craziness in her world. It just took off from that point.
Hey, you're great!
La fecha 23 de abril del 2004. El lugar, la presentación en Manhattan de Chicas Malas. El momento, Lindsay llega a la alfombra roja luciendo un par de desmedidos senos que aparentemente surgieron al anochecer.
Lindsay's fans were shocked when she showed up at the screening looking like Marilyn Monroe. All of a sudden, she had these gigantic breasts.
I mean, they went from to
Sexy.
Everyone's like, where did those come from? Did they come from nature? Or did they come from science, Lindsay?
People were speculating that she had gotten implants because they could see this like weird shading underneath her boobs. So people were saying it looked like a scar from surgery.
Sexy.
There's another picture of Lindsay where she's out dancing, and her breasts look very perky, very high, and very fake.
I think after people saw that picture, they were probably a little taken aback at the fact that her boobs were like coming out of her collarbone.
La respuesta de Lindsay al alboroto, negar, negar y negar. Acalló los rumores de implantes en la edición de agosto del 2004 de Rolling Stone y 2 meses más tarde en TRL.
What's one rumor that you're just sick of hearing about yourself? Probably the one where I got breast implants. I just think that's ridiculous. I think it's insane.
She's like, they're real, you know, and then the rest of us are like, okay, so, but are you lying?
Lindsay said it was just about her growing up. She was coming into her own body, and her new boobs had just sprouted.
I think that they're half real and half cyborg. The debate rages on. You decide, America.
Con el éxito de su película Chicas Malas, la vida le pintaba muy bien a Lindsay. Hasta el 3 de junio del 2004, cuando Michael, el padre de la afamada estrella, fue arrestado por asalto y acaparó los reflectores.
Lindsay is sitting on top of the world, and the next thing she finds out is her dad has been arrested. Her dad lost his at her brother's communion and beat his brother-in-law with a shoe. What? His brother-in-law got 16 staples in his head from the injury. Like, what kind of concrete shoe was this that he hit him with?
And then her dad goes on Celebrity Justice to try to defend himself and say, it wasn't me, self-defense, I was attacked. It's like, brother, you said something. What was I supposed to do? I had to hit him.
You know, my dad is a grown man, and he's gone a little overboard with some of the things he says, but I love him, and he's my father.
And after he gets arrested, then a lot of other skeletons come out of the closet.
He was actually in prison for 4 years for securities fraud. He was also arrested for a domestic dispute and also for attacking a sanitation worker. It became such a shocking thing that this up-and-coming star had such an awful past. Michael Lohan's arrest was just the beginning of a whole host of problems that Lindsay was going to have with her family over the next couple of years. So it was really just sort of the tip of the iceberg for her.
El 21 de octubre del 2004, Lindsay sorprendió a sus fans al ser hospitalizada durante la filmación de Herbie Fully Loaded. No fue un caso de un simple catarro. Permaneció 5 días por agotamiento, jaquecas y una fiebre de casi 40 grados.
It seems bizarre that someone so young could get so sick and be that tired, but they were shooting in the desert, and Lindsay was wearing a full racing suit inside a tiny little car.
Production on her movie was stopped for about a week. It was a pretty serious hospitalization.
How did it get this bad? You know, like, how many days did they keep her out driving this fake car?
It's been very pressured because I've been filming the movie. I've actually been recording my album and my trailer on set.
Wow.
In between takes.
Lindsay was just starting to earn her reputation as a crazy party girl, so everybody pretty much thought this was a case of teen girl gone wild and that there was no way she could actually be sick.
They can say it was drugs or anything they want, because that's what I was hearing, or meningitis or whatever. You know, it's when you get tired. I'm 18 and I'm still growing and my body can't handle, like, going out and then working and doing all this stuff.
Apenas 4 meses después, Lindsay visitó nuevamente el hospital. Esta vez fue sometida a rayos X por dolores en el pecho.
And it turned out that she had bronchitis. Not only was Lindsay in the middle of filming Just My Luck, but her parents also happened to be in the middle of a nasty divorce.
The fact that Lindsay was in the hospital twice within just a few months really says, you know what, maybe Lindsay, you should just slow down a little bit.
It came out at that point that she suffered from asthma, but people were a little bit puzzled by the whole thing because they also saw her smoking all the time.
What do you expect? Smoking asthma equals bronchitis. Come on.
Enseguida, es lo más impactante de Lindsay Lohan. Desde que habían estado saliendo por meses en secreto, casi todo el mundo se quedó sorprendido cuando Lindsay y Wilmer, de 24 años, se anunciaron como pareja cuando ella cumplió 18 años. Pero eso no fue nada comparado al escándalo de su rompimiento apenas 4 meses después.
Pretty hot and heavy between Lindsay and Wilmer for a while. They had reportedly exchanged promise rings.
But they were star-crossed lovers from the beginning. Two people knocking each other out of the spotlight.
They had such a tumultuous relationship through the entire thing. Lindsay was still really young. She was still kind of in high school mode. So they were fighting all the time.
Wilmer tells that she freaked out one time when he couldn't pick her up and she was at a photo shoot and they had to cancel the photo shoot because of it.
When they broke up, you could feel the collective what go over the whole nation.
What's the biggest mistake you've ever made?
Dating that guy from the 70s show. Definitely.
There are many theories as to why Wilmer and Lindsay didn't last. One of them is that Lindsay was just too crazy and too possessive. Another one was that Wilmer wasn't very good at being monogamous.
She had apparently found letters from Wilmer's ex, which she certainly didn't like, but it just seemed like the two of them had gotten together at the wrong time.
Un mes después del rompimiento, Lindsay apareció en TRL tratando de poner el punto final.
You changed your t-shirt.
Yeah, I did.
Why?
Well, I just wanted to make a statement. It says you were never my boyfriend.
Oh, no, she did! You trying to stir up some controversy?
Whatever.
Wilmer aumentó la controversia en marzo del 2006 con algunas confesiones muy atrevidas en el programa de Howard Stern.
It's this kind of childish thing that's going back and forth, but to watch it unravel is the greatest stuff ever. Like, this is what a true Hollywood romance is made of.
A un año de su mega estrellato, Lindsay era conocida por 3 cosas: sus senos, su drama y su hermoso cabello rojo. Entonces, el 15 de abril del 2005, impactó al mundo al entrar a un club de Manhattan de Rubia.
So Lindsay goes to the rap party for Just My Luck, and she's blonde. The anti-blonde starlet, the red hair, the whole different look has gone Paris Hilton.
And the world went crazy. It's like the sky fell in.
Has everyone seen this? She's blonde. No, wait, stop. I don't care what's happening. People are dying elsewhere in the world. Lindsay Lohan's blonde. Afghana, what? Lindsay Lohan's blonde.
It's very strange.
What was really surprising was that Lindsay had said in the past, I love my red hair, and there she was with blonde hair.
Lindsay's rep claimed that she went blonde for her role in A Prairie Home Companion because she was playing Meryl Streep's daughter and she wanted their hair to match.
And Meryl Streep was blonde, so I wanted to get into character.
Her rep said, you know what, it's easier for her to dye her hair blonde than it is for her to wear a wig. Yeah, if they can make the Titanic sink, they can put a blonde wig on Lindsay Lohan.
La ambición de rubia de Lindsay no terminó cuando finalizó la filmación 6 semanas después. Permaneció platina por 6 meses, hasta octubre del 2005.
She keeps it for months, you know. I mean, obviously she realizes the reaction she gets out of it and milks it for everything it's worth.
I'll be back to red hair soon. I miss my red hair. But this is a nice change.
Since then, she's been coloring it like crazy. It's been brown, dark brown, red again, every color in the rainbow.
It doesn't matter whether she has dyed her hair gray and made it into dreadlocks. She's still gonna be a kook. That's what we really want.
4 semanas después del teñido, la apariencia de Lindsay acaparó más los encabezados. Había estado perdiendo peso desde su hospitalización en octubre del 2004, pero una alarmante foto con Nicole Richie mostró que había ido demasiado lejos.
Lindsay has been always known as being like a curvy girl. And then all of a sudden she drops 20 pounds and she's skeletal. You could see all the bones in her body. You could see that her arms and even her face were so thin at this point.
When people saw that photo, they went absolutely crazy with speculation that Lindsay had some sort of an eating disorder, that she was doing drugs. It definitely caused a huge reaction.
This was one of those put down the camera and help her moments. This is like, ha ha, Lindsay Lohan, you, oh God. Oh, do something.
Because of this one incredible photo, the two of them were actually dubbed the Skeletons.
Días más tarde, la pareja trató de apagar los rumores comiendo pastel ante las cámaras. Cuando el público no le creyó, sacó un as bajo la manga.
When people started confronting Lindsay about her weight loss, she defended it by saying she actually really liked her new physique because clothes fit better, and she was really comfortable with it.
You grow up, you learn, you eat healthier, you work out, your body's changing.
Lindsay said, compared to a lot of other actresses in Hollywood, I'm actually overweight. And that drew a lot of attention because she was not overweight by any stretch of the imagination, even compared to the average Hollywood starlet.
She was even saying that people after she lost the weight were saying, hey, you look great. And she made these comments like, what, did I look fat before?
Everyone has their own reason for why they want to be thin or how they get that way. Or I'm healthy and I'm not an idiot.
Sin ser una situación graciosa, Lindsay y Nicole todavía bromearon al respecto en junio del 2005 en los premios de cine de MTV.
You look really skinny, I have to tell you.
I mean, you look really skinny.
No, you look really skinny.
Para septiembre, Lindsay quería recuperar sus curvas y se inscribió con un entrenador y cambió su dieta.
Now she at least has a little bit extra meat on her bones. I think she could stand to put on another few pounds, but she does look like she's maybe adopting a healthier weight.
Para la primavera del 2005, era una práctica normal de la prensa escudriñar cada movimiento de Lindsay en busca de la nota. Pero el 31 de mayo, la misma Lindsay quedó pasmada al ser presa de un ataque paparazzi, literalmente hablando.
Lindsay's driving her Mercedes, paparazzi's all over her.
They all turned around and one of them cornered me in and I was like, what do you want?
She tries to flag down a cop to be like, get this guy off my tail.
As I was saying, that someone like floored it into my door of my car.
The photographer rams his car into her Mercedes so that he can get pictures.
Don't touch her car.
Lindsay went to the hospital, but she was released very quickly. But I think she was very, very shaken up.
The photographer was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon, but the charges were dropped because police couldn't prove that the crash was intentional.
And guys, be careful of the paparazzi.
After that incident, people felt very concerned for Lindsay. I mean, we know that she loves to get attention, but nobody thinks it's okay for her to get hit by a car.
I think something needs to be done. A line needs to be drawn for safety issues.
The great irony is that everyone in America is like, I want to see the pictures, I want to see the pictures, I want to see the pictures. Where those pictures come from? That's terrible. More pictures, more pictures, more pictures.
4 meses más tarde, Lindsay aún no podía quitarse a los paparazzi de encima. Chocó con una camioneta al tratar de esquivar más fotógrafos hambrientos.
Lindsay was in a car with her friend, and she tried to make a U-turn to get away from the paparazzi, and she ended up hitting a van.
Airbags deployed, she has cuts and bruises. She gets out of the car like a wild woman and runs, but they still cannot get pictures of her.
Well, maybe you should just be a little more careful when you're driving these paparazzi. Like, I know it's terrible. The paparazzi are all over you, but drive a little slower.
Enseguida. El 4 de junio del 2005, apenas a 5 días de su primer incidente con los paparazzi, Lindsay se topó de frente con un problema más grave. Las hermanas Simpson. Les negó la entrada a sus enemigas Jessica y Ashley a su fiesta de los premios de cine MTV, iniciando la última batalla de las rubias.
The Simpson sisters / Lohan beef is rooted in the foundation of really cheesy Hollywood guys.
Supposedly, Ashley Simpson had been smooching with Wilmer Valderrama, who Lindsay Lohan, of course, just had a very public breakup with.
What may have sort of tipped the scales toward Lindsay's fuming was that Lindsay and Jared Leto may have been dating. And yet, right before the show, Jared had been trying to get Jessica's number on the slide.
Jessica and Ashley show up to Lindsay's party at the Standard. Lindsay sees like a table being cleared for them. They're like, no Simpsons.
So Jess and Ashley take their wounded pride to Jimmy Fallon's party at Argyle Hotel. And who should show up but Lindsay Lohan?
Jessica can't believe that she's there. She threatens to kick Lindsay's butt.
Jessica better watch herself. I don't think she'd want to threaten to fight with Lindsay because Lindsay is skinny, but she's scrappy. She's hardcore.
Baby, one more time. 2 meses después, Lindsay y Ashley se reconciliaron, pero eso no impidió que la Simpson sacara boyfriend con una letra no muy sutil. Yo no robé a tu novio. Después, en abril del 2006, Lindsay trató de reconciliarse con Jessica, pero eso tampoco funcionó.
Lindsay sent a bottle of champagne over to Jessica's table at the LA club Dime. Apparently, Jessica didn't thank her, and Lindsay was very upset over that. And right in the middle of all of this was director Brett Ratner.
Ratner salía con Jessica aquella noche y a Lindsay no le agradó.
Lindsay was reportedly dating Brett Ratner at the time, and she's already mad at Jessica, but now she's jealous of her too, so she gets right in Jessica's face and tells her, let's take it outside. And Jessica bursts into tears.
Apparently Brett has to break up these women, which you know he loves. He's like, stop fighting over me.
The most ridiculous part of all of these feuds is that they're being caused by guys like Wilmer Valderrama and Brett Ratner. Is it worth it?
Unas semanas después del disgusto con las hermanas Simpson, Lindsay hizo otro épico berrinche. El 19 de junio del 2005 cruzó pataleando el lobby del teatro El Capitán de Los Ángeles, sumamente enojada por Herbie Fully Loaded.
For Lindsay's movie Herbie Fully Loaded, she also recorded this song called First for the big race scene in the movie.
I have my single for this movie. It's called First.
It's really great.
It wasn't until the premiere that Lindsay realized her song wasn't being played during the race scene like it was supposed to be.
And they put her song first at the very end of the closing credit sequence. Lindsay was livid. She storms out. She starts yelling and screaming in the lobby. I'm pissed off.
You are the star of this film. Everyone's here to watch you. This is the premiere. You don't jump up and run out and like stomp. No one's paying attention to my stuff.
Apparently her handlers had to go into the bathroom with her and had this like 12-minute cooling off session to talk her down.
She was probably throwing things, water everywhere, crying, screaming, why?
Con unos provechosos abrazos de su mamá, Lindsay se tranquilizó con el tiempo, pero a veces se desahogaba.
After the movie, Lindsay was signing autographs for fans, and she actually explained what happened. She said, quote, I was like, whoa, because no one stays for the closing credits.
Her co-star, Matt Dillon, was giving her all these compliments, but all Lindsay could think about was how upset she still was that her song wasn't played in the race scene.
It's things like this that make Lindsay look like a brat. It's not like they played a Paris Hilton song or an Ashley Simpson song during that scene. Good Lord, woman.
La mayoría de la gente desahoga sus dramas familiares con un profesional. Pero Lindsay prefiere el acercamiento público. El 30 de septiembre del 2005 publicó Confessions of a Broken Heart, una cándida obra sobre su padre encarcelado.
Because Lindsay never felt like she could really communicate with her father, she did it the only way she knew possible, through song.
I was going through a lot with my family, so I just wrote about a lot of that on the album.
The song is basically Lindsay telling her dad, I wish you were here, where'd you go? And she kind of just let it all out.
The lyrics of Lindsay's song were very, very open, but then the video took it one step further, and it really showed everything that had gone on. People were really like, wow, that's what Lindsay went through? That's really sad.
For the video, her younger sister, Allie, actually played a young version of Lindsay and acted out all these scenes of the family's relationship.
She's willing to put it out there, just really raw. And so then it's shocking that she's constantly turning around being like, stay away, why are you invading me?
Incluso antes de que escuchara el tema de Lindsay, Michael Lohan compuso una canción para su hija en autodefensa. La letra se publicó en el New York Daily News.
He answered in song? That's like watching the Von Trapps fight, except so far from it. She's really profoundly messed up.
When he finally did hear her song, he wrote an open letter that was also published in the Daily News, talking about how proud he was of her.
Maybe he could have written to her, Lindsay, I'm sorry I left you to grow up without a father. That might have been a better letter than, wow, what a great heart you have. What commune jail is he at?
Lección número 1 de los famosos. La candidez no siempre es algo bueno. Lindsay descubrió eso a la mala cuando se sinceró en una impactante entrevista para la edición de febrero del 2006 de Vanity Fair.
When the issue came out, it caused an uproar.
Everyone was talking about it. Major news networks were talking about it.
I'm an open book, and I'm aware that my life is going to be out there, and it's flattering that people are that interested in me.
There were many things in Lindsay's Vanity Fair interview that were incredibly shocking, but probably the most talked about was when she said, I was making myself sick, which everybody interpreted as her admission to having bulimia.
Before this point, people have been speculating about her weight, saying that she had an eating disorder. She's always denied it.
In the interview, she said that right before she did SNL, Lorne Michaels and Tina Fey sat her down, had a come to Jesus talk with her, and told her, you really need to start taking better care of yourself. And she said, I started bawling. I knew I had a problem and I couldn't admit it.
When she saw the episode, she was like, oh, my arms, I didn't have any arms, it was disgusting.
Lindsay also confessed that she was using drugs a little. It was a little bit of a half-assed confession. Yes, she admitted it, but just saying like a little.
A menos de una semana de haberse publicado, Lindsay la emprendió contra Vanity Fair alegando que había sido mal interpretada.
She told teen people that her words had been misconstrued. She didn't really mean that she was bulimic by saying, I was making myself sick.
She confesses to everything this side of the Lindbergh baby murder. Then she goes to teen people and she was like, crossies. And of course, that doesn't really work.
Vanity Fair stood by their story and said, you know what, we have a tape of the interview. Do you want to hear it?
Incluso en una vida tan desaforada como la de Lindsay, siguen existiendo aquellos momentos que son por demás extraños. Caso a tratar, enero 27 del 2006, cuando visitaba la mansión londinense de Bryan Adams, se resbaló, rompió una taza de té en su espinilla y terminó en el hospital con 10 puntadas.
You wake up and you think, I was doing too many drugs last night, because this can't be a true headline. How do these worlds come together?
People were like, do they mean Ryan Adams or Bryan Adams? Bryan Adams? Really? Summer of '69 Bryan Adams?
Where did you meet Bryan Adams? You know, that's weird. The thing that made the accident even crazier was her mom's elaborately detailed explanation of what happened.
It was like Lindsay and her friends were making breakfast with eggs and everything, and then she had just come out of the shower. She was still a little bit wet. She had lotion on.
She was walking up the stairs with tea, and she slipped and fell, and the tea cup broke and hit her shin and cut her, and it was an accident. The fact that she's so like, oh, it was an accident, makes you like, okay, clearly it's not an accident.
Carrying a ceramic teacup and fell and needed that many stitches. That's impossible, unless it was filled with razor blades and sea urchins.
if gnomes from the garden suddenly sprouted horns and they ran themselves into her shins. I'm actually more prone to believe that than Lindsay dropping a teacup and cutting her shin. My bullshit detector blew up after I heard that.
Nunca es divertido meterte en líos en el trabajo, pero es peor cuando los agravios de tu jefe se filtran en el internet. El 26 de julio del 2006, Lindsay recibió una severísima carta del director del estudio James G. Robinson, advirtiéndole que podría irse del set de Georgia Rule.
James was pissed that Lindsay was constantly late to the set, and she was missing 2 days of work because she wasn't feeling well.
There were all these stories about Lindsay going out partying during production of Georgia Rule, but it all culminated in her being hospitalized for dehydration and exhaustion.
So James Robinson pens a letter saying that Lindsay's behavior on the set is irresponsible and unprofessional.
He's just like, you are acting like a spoiled child.
Robinson says, we're well aware that your ongoing all-night heavy partying was the real reason for your exhaustion.
He called her out in front of everybody in Hollywood.
If she had enough strength and energy to go partying, then she should have enough strength and energy to go to work.
Translation, quit f***ing around.
He also said that her actions were costing the studio hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that if she didn't shape up, they were going to hold her financially accountable.
Her mom, Dina, was really good about defending her daughter, saying that Lindsay was really affected by the 105-degree temperatures, and it was affecting her bronchial asthma.
Diana salió a la defensa de su hija, pero no impidió que los compañeros de Lohan respaldaran a la persona que la desacreditó, incluyendo a los coestelares William H. Macy y Jane Fonda.
Well, I think it was cool that he wrote the letter. I mean, it's good, you know, it's good. She's a young person. She turned 20 during the movie. So, you know, it wasn't bad for someone to say, hey, tone it down.
After that, she started showing up on time, and in the end, people were saying, you know, Lindsay's a talented actress, and we would like to work with her again, but just set your alarm and try not to party until 5 a.m.
She did apologize to the cast and to the crew, and that's good enough for me.
Enseguida, la pequeña... Después de la dura reprimenda de Lindsay, se las arregló para desaparecer por 6 semanas, o sea, hasta el 5 de septiembre del 2006, cuando apareció de una manera espectacular.
In September of 2006, Lindsay was getting out of a boat in Venice, and she flashed the camera, and you could see she did not have any underwear on.
Going commando in a $5,000 dress at a film festival, that's her prerogative. But take baby steps off the boat, because taking big, giant, flashing hoo-ha steps is only going to land you on Perez Hilton.
These pictures surfaced immediately, and people just didn't know what to think.
First time I saw the underwear free photo, it was like, what is happening to my world?
Within hours, another picture surfaced on the internet, which was the exact same shot, but it showed that Lindsay now had pink underwear on.
There was even a rumor out there that her team had doctored the photo to put it out there and make it seem like, oh, no. See, the real one was the underwear one. The fake one was the other one.
Which is creepier? Someone photoshopping off Lindsay Lohan's underwear or someone photoshopping on Lindsay Lohan's underwear? Because either way, some 19-year-old nerd is spending hours hunched over a computer with Photoshop staring at her...
La mayoría de las estrellas habrían invertido en ropa íntima, pero en menos de una semana Lohan hizo una aparición en Londres.
She was in a car outside the Cabaret Theater, and she flashed the paparazzi again. It was almost like she wanted people to see exactly what was going on, like, oh, yeah, it wasn't a fake picture the first time.
Lindsay Lohan suffers from underpants phobia. And the best thing is, she knows exactly when to show the world that she's not wearing underpants.
If you're going to show that, honey, get paid at least. Get that money. Don't give it away for free.
A horas de debutar sus partes íntimas, Lindsay Lohan volvió a sorprender al mundo, presentándose en la premiere de su cinta Bobby con un gigantesco anillo de diamantes. Un regalo del heredero del hard rock Harry Morton. El anillo parecía estar diciendo algo respecto a su futuro.
Lindsay Lohan showed up at the Venice Film Festival with a gigantic ring on her wedding ring finger, and everybody thought, oh my gosh, they're engaged.
I created quite a stir.
They're engaged, going to get married. Everyone's abuzz with it.
But Lindsay's mom said, that is not an engagement ring. It's just a nice gift. It is a hell of a nice gift.
Yeah, the kind of gift a fiance might give his fiance when they're going to get married. How is this a debate? She had a diamond ring on her ring finger. How about a month-long debate over how many eyes she has?
People were saying that she was actually just playing a trick on the paparazzi. Lindsay has admitted before in interviews that she really likes lying to people and pretending that things are happening when they're actually not.
I'm not engaged. I have to just say, you're the only person that I've said that to. But it's fun to toy with people. I might as well, right?
Al final la broma pudo haber resultado para Lindsay porque 3 semanas después ya no eran pareja.
They sort of split up, and Harry says, oh, well, the diamond ring thing put a lot of pressure on it. You think? On my planet, Earth, what we do is we give a ring to someone, we intend to marry them.
Publicly, it seemed like a very gentle, amicable breakup. He said he really respects her, he still loves her as a person.
Yeah, she's an amazing girl.
But because of all the attention, he just couldn't handle it anymore.
He thought it'd be fun. Maybe he liked the spotlight. But then it was too much for him. Harry couldn't hang.
A tan solo 2 días del revuelo veneciano del anillo, sus joyas nuevamente dieron la nota. Esta vez la actriz denunció que le habían robado su bolso naranja y con él $1 millón en joyas.
Lindsay was coming back from the Venice Film Festival where she was promoting her movie Bobbies. She was at Heathrow Airport and her Hermes Birkin bag got stolen.
The bag was seen on the trolley with all her other suitcases, and then all of a sudden it was missing.
You have to kind of be aware of all your surroundings.
She alerts authorities, and they're like, could you explain what was in the purse? Yeah, it had my asthma medication, $1 million worth of jewelry. What? You had $1 million of jewelry in your purse?
Who has $1 million worth of goods in their purse at the airport?
Was there going to be a gala on the plane that you were afraid you had to be ready to attend? Like, oh, look there. Brought my $1 million in jewels. Shall we meet in the restroom in the back of the plane?
Her publicist basically said that she was begging for the items to be returned and she didn't really care how she got them back.
I love that it's like, oh my God, $1 million of jewelry is missing. And my asthma medication. Sweetie, one of those 2 things you can get at Dwayne Reed.
Scotland Yard no tardó mucho en el caso. Horas después de perderse el bolso, un conductor lo encontró en el estacionamiento del aeropuerto.
This driver named Tom Webster returned it, and Lindsay was so appreciative.
She said that she would give a reward, but he said he never got a reward or a call from Lindsay.
The moral of the story is return a bag if you ever find it, but if Lindsay Lohan is the one that you're returning it to, don't expect a reward.
Enseguida. Para Lindsay, cuando llueve es un diluvio. En un torbellino de 2 semanas, negó rumores de compromiso, le robaron su bolso y se expuso al mundo 2 veces. Pero el circuito de escándalos de Lindsay aún no se había cerrado. Lo coronó fracturándose la muñeca.
On September 15th, 2006, Lindsay Lohan was in New York for Fashion Week, and she was at the Milk Studios.
It had been raining, she was in an outdoor area, and she was wearing these Chanel boots, and she slipped and she fell.
I felt really embarrassed. I didn't know what to say. I was like, no, don't look.
She ended up fracturing her wrist in 2 places, was rushed to the hospital, and ended up in a cast for about 6 weeks.
Lindsay, how's the wrist?
Lindsay should just rent a room in the hospital because she spends more time there than an apartment.
Lindsay Lohan falling and breaking her wrist is just another example of how fragile she is. People slip and fall all the time, but it's usually old people that slip, fall, and break a wrist or break a hip.
Claro, está predispuesta a lastimarse, pero Lindsay estaba resuelta a probar que la caída no fue su culpa. Sostuvo que los estudios Milk no taparon el piso.
Lindsay's publicist even said there was a pending investigation into the fall, and they had lawyers looking at the situation because it could affect her ability to work.
This is how combative Lindsay is. Lindsay will start a fight with the sidewalk. I'd love to see her win this, and therefore all her red carpets from now on will have to have those little flower bathroom traction stickers on them. That's Lindsay, man. Gravity will kick the hell out of her if it's not stopped.
1, 2, 3, break time. Lindsay y Paris siempre han tenido la amistad más inestable. Parecía haber madurado cuando el amigo de Paris, Brandon Davis, descargó su difamador y ofensivo lenguaje.
We think she's a firecrotch.
Pero el drama subió nuevamente de tono el 26 de noviembre del 2006, cuando Lindsay alegó que las palabras cambiaron a golpes.
The Paris and Lindsay feud started over, surprise, a man, Paris's ex, Stavros Niarchos.
After months of fighting and making up, things seemed to take a pretty ugly turn for Paris and Lindsay.
This is a video that Paris Hilton, and I'm saying this on tape. She hit me last night for no reason, apparently, at my friend's house, and I didn't know she'd be there, and she hit me, and she hit me with a drink and poured it all over me. And it hurts, and it's not okay.
When I saw that clip, I couldn't believe that Lindsay actually said that Paris had hit her. And then I wanted to know what really happened at that party that made Paris pour a drink on Lindsay.
If you were at this party and someone watching this was, call us, email us through the website, tell us what's happening, because we need to know. This is news.
A la noche siguiente, el publicista de Hilton negó la acusación de Lindsay. Extrañamente, Lindsay coincidió con él. Mientras se divertía con Hilton y Britney Spears, ella inventó su propia historia.
Lindsay, tell them the truth.
Paris, never. Lindsay, she's my friend. Everyone lies about everything. She's a nice person. Please, leave us alone.
To your friends?
But she had just said that Paris had hit her a mere 24 hours ago.
It's a little ridiculous. Like, is she lying? Is she crazy? What's the deal?
Lindsay and Paris have made up? Oh, thank the heavens. Thank the heavens. Lindsay and Paris are friends again.
Las cosas no fueron perdonadas por mucho tiempo. En la noche número 3 del drama, la pareja empezó a reñir en el Hyatt Lounge de Los Ángeles.
It was reported that Paris told Lindsay, "Don't ever say you're my friend again." Then Paris went back to her house and actually screamed through her fence to Lindsay's friends that Lindsay better stay away from her.
The drama queens have finally found a reason to feud. You almost wonder if for years they weren't trying, like plotting, being like, oh, how can I have a fight with her? Like she's a true adversary.
Will these two ever make up? Probably, but then they'll fight again, and it's really a vicious cycle that all of America seems to really love to watch.
This one is not over, folks, so keep your eyes out.
A principios del 2007, Lindsay se hartó de sus excentricidades y entró a rehabilitación. Por eso la felicitamos. En buenos y en malos momentos, Lindsay vive para escandalizar y esperamos que no se detenga pronto.